All right, what's up, everyone? This is a return to form off the court with OG. Midnight hours here at the Barclays Center at the NetsGC Gaming Studio, presented by LIU. Curt, it's a unique setup for us.
No, indeed. Hey, all done by you.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a makeshift studio, making use of the backdrop here at NetsGC. Um, it's been a while. I actually did a little bit of research before this show. The last time we filmed this podcast, it was almost 2 years ago. So September of 2022
Oh wow.
is when we did this. And so a couple seasons ago, something we used to do a lot, but kind of moved away from to focus on other pieces of content. Something that I wish we could have done a little bit more of this year. That's on me, but we're knocking one out before the year ends, and it's good to be back here with you. It's something we traditionally do remotely, but here we are in person, I think.
Yeah, that's really what makes it special. Um, Kris has been here for some weeks now. So
Yeah,
I,
I
I
think
think
it's almost 2 weeks.
yeah, and we roommates. So like that makes it even better. But it's definitely great to have podcasts. In person versus remote. I think we kind of out of the Zoom phase of doing everything since the world is kind of rotating back to normality. But no, anytime I get a chance to chop it up with you, and now we get a chance to do it in person, it's always something to look forward to.
This won't be too long of an episode. Obviously, we didn't do this at all during 3v3, and there's a lot that we can kind of summarize in 3v3, but I do want to kind of put more of a focus on fives, especially with Dane and Reed, who, by the way, Dane is off camera right now, and we are here at the Barclays Center real late, and he had to call an audible and make his way here, and so, um, but yeah, the fives expectations, Curt. I'll be very like blunt with you. Like, have we met expectations? And if not, you know, what can we do to meet those expectations? Not just of you, but BSE Global as a whole and growth properties as a whole.
No, I mean, I think I would be probably delusional if I said we have reached expectations. I think even the players, most importantly, that people who control most of the the success and that we potentially may have. So no, I definitely not. I think for us, it's been a lot of growing pains. I mean, if you watched our games, we've been competitive in every game. I think it's I mentioned this even before we even started playing five. I was just looking at scrims. I said, we basically playing ourselves. Like, I mean, it's not always even the other team that's doing anything to beat us. It's more us that we work against ourselves at times. And we've showed flashes that we can be really good, but we also showed other flashes that we can just be boneheaded. I wouldn't even say bad. It's just, doing certain things at certain moments of the game that, it happens, but like I really didn't want I didn't want to expect things like that to happen with the amount of, years of experience and veterans that we have on our team. But it happens, and I think for us, now it's like it's not over until it's over, and that's pretty much the situation we put ourselves in. I think we, kind of done, decent in certain games when our back is against the wall, and I just think that's the mentality that we're gonna have to have, in order to get into the position that we want to be in.
And so, the position that we're in right now, you've kind of alluded to it already, is we are locked into the ticket. And for those who maybe are stumbling onto our channel or maybe are watching a reel or our TikTok forum here, the ticket is basically the equivalent of the play-in tournament in the NBA 2K League. And so the format is we got to win 2 rounds remote. We get to play on stage. We win 1 round on stage, and we are in the playoffs. So that's what we have in front of us. We've kind of talked about what we need to do to overcome that hurdle. And it really starts with, you know, the last two games. We talk about not meeting expectations, but the last two games have kind of showed a glimmer of hope, signs of a team that you were kind of envisioning, and I'm sure the guys were envisioning before the season started. What are some of the little things that you've seen the last 2 days that give you hope and maybe give you signs of encouragement that this thing can be turned around?
Yeah, I think the last two games. I mean, of course, we had played the Raptors, who obviously is a playoff team, and they have an MVP candidate. I mean, it been consistently good throughout the season, but we showed that we can play with those type teams. I mean, and then of course, Gen G has been having his struggles and different things like that, and we pulled away. After we got the technical issues out of the way, we pulled away from that. But I just think the energy within a room, just constantly communicating on both ends of the court, being alert, making plays. I mean, really, I always say this is what it comes down to in the 2K league, is just players making plays. I mean, having more positive plays than negative plays. And I think we did a great job of that. And like I said, our biggest thing is just doing what we know we're supposed to do. I hear guys, they talk good about any possible scenario or anything like that. But this on the other end of that is how you execute it. And they know that. I mean, of course, they harder on themselves than I ever could be. I mean, I tell them, I believe in them every game. It didn't matter if it was threes or fives or anything. I rock with these guys no matter what. It's a great group of guys. I mean, to say the least. And that's always, more important to me than anything. I mean, wins, they're gonna come and go. Same as losses, but at least I know I got a room full of guys. I asked them, before we even played our last few games, I said, "We not ready to tuck, are we?" And they was like, "No." And I believe them, and I'm still gonna keep believing in them until we played our last game, and hopefully our last game won't be played until later June.
I'm I'm looking forward to kind of asking some of the players this on the podcast, but I'll ask you: is there an advantage? You never want to be in this position. I think as a competitor, you just want to be in the playoffs. Let's not sugarcoat it. But accepting the fact that we are here, is there a little bit of an advantage with just playing free now, like with nothing to lose? Maybe you're a little bit more open to trying different lineups. Maybe there's less pressure. I know we've seen the team kind of find themselves in close games and play a little tight and not really play to their level that they're expecting. So is there a benefit to being able to play loose and play with, like, free?
I think so. I mean, it should be. Then, the other side of that is that, I've been in situations where we're not playing in the ticket and we qualify for playoffs and, we go out in the first round. I mean, a lot of people have their opinions about how you get there or whatever, but I think you do get a chance to see a different side of your team. I mean, it's going to be a one-game scenario. You don't get the best of three, as you would, in regular playoffs. So I think that's one of the unique things that you get to see about it. And plus the different challenges of, winning the first two games remote and then, going to play on stage. I think, and it's funny to say because it hasn't happened, but I think, you tend to see teams that sometimes haven't been on stage in this, current process that we have now over the last few years where we're playing more remote games. But you'll see teams that haven't really been on stage and they get there and you see a whole different team. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's probably going to keep everybody hungry because I don't think that I don't think that we'd be a bad stage team, but we got to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I've told you this so many times. I firmly believe that if we can get on stage, like this is one of those teams that can elevate and not really shy away from the moment. Like we've seen Reed on stage during the ticket just kill it. We've seen Dane on stage multiple times and just relish that moment. Steve's so much experience. Streets, we've seen kind of grow up. And when he gets to stage, he finally gets to talk and he gets super animated. He's pointing at the other team. And, Greens has kind of gone through his process, gotten better every game. So, man, Curt, if we're playing on stage 2 weeks from now, that means we're on a 4-game winning streak. And, why not us, right? Don't.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it ain't over till it's over. And I'm going to remain confident throughout the whole thing. Of course, I let some guys have some time off after the turn and, get a little mental reset. I mean, I'm probably the biggest on that. I mean, I'm not 2K every day, all day. Like, get some air, touch some grass, whatever your vice is or whatever that's not harming anybody or anything like that. But I'm gonna be confident. I think throughout my life, I've been through a lot, and seen a lot, and some things that motivated me and changed me in a lot of different ways. And I still look at that in the field of competition. I mean, sometimes you get the easy road, sometimes you get the hard road, and you get challenged to see where you're at, as a team and as an individual, and even myself as as the head of NetsGC. I think we have to accept those challenges and relish in the moment, and that's really what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Obviously, this is the longest I've been here in person with you, and man, every game still feels so brand new to me, and everything feels so exciting, despite the position that we're in. So I'm equally looking forward to how the rest of this plays out. I think really the last thing I kind of want to talk about before we sign off here is just like your general thoughts on the year as a whole. I think, we talked about this off camera a little bit earlier today, just kind of like, I think looking back on this year, despite it not really hitting all of our expectations, I think we're going to look back fondly on this year. And I mean, I'll talk about it now, like in case this is it. And if we're not able to talk about this after the fact, we'll cut it out.
So optimistic.
Yeah, but in case this is it, I think we should just do a better job of kind of living in the moment and enjoying everything. Like I'll walk from your apartment to Barclays Center.
Stop saying my apartment. I told you.
Yes,
while
it's
you're
our,
here, it's our apartment.
You're right. It's our apartment. I walk from our apartment to the Barclays Center, and I try to honestly, like when I'm after the 4-game losing streak that we were on, it took me out of my depressed, upset mood, just kind of living.
I'm glad you brought that up because I actually was gonna mention that. Like he was sweating the whole time he was here. Like he wanted to get a win. Why wanted to get some wins, not just a win. And then we happened to get our first win against the Raptors, which is he's from Canada. So
yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, so he was, me and Kris are complete opposites when it comes to temperament. I'm more laid back, reserved.
I'm the tweaking out.
Yeah, he's the rager, everything like that. So it's a perfect balance.
I try not to show the guys, but like I can't sleep after a loss. Like I'll stay up till 3 a.m. just playing everything in the back of my mind.
No, see, I stay up, but it's not me doing all that. But I mean, I think I can't unwind either after wins or losses. Is my, just the rush of everything, the adrenaline and all that. Even though I don't show it physically.
Oh, I know.
It's going on in here, but
I haven't gotten to that point yet where I could manage it. I'm not a good manager of emotions.
Well, in this case, I'm glad because, like, Kris during the games, he's up. He's clapping. He's animated. I mean, in between getting content and stuff like that, I think that balance is needed. I think I'm always I think I keep the air thin and everything like that as much as I can. But I think, like I said, that balance it works.
I'm still quiet. Like if Anna were to see, I'm still quieter here. I've legit gotten noise complaints during NetsGC games at my apartment because I'm like banging the table, yelling.
I can believe it.
It's no, but it is what it is. But yeah, like I was saying, like I'm walking to the Barclays Center for work, and I'm going through, the VIP entrance and walking up to the suite level, and it's crazy. And obviously, this is me being very naive and new to this, but I love it, and can't wait to see how the rest of the season goes. Curt, any final thoughts before we sign off on season 4 of Off the Court with OG, episode 1?
No, I mean, I'm with you. I think, if you had to ask me, how my career has been as a GM and head coach, which is most people say, I use that coach term very lightly, but every season is, it's been one of its own. I've had a great time with, most of the players that I've had a chance to manage. Some players I acquired, I didn't even get a chance to manage them, so they're one of their own, and I think the relationships that I've built over time, no matter whether I talk to certain players every day, some once a week, some once every 2 weeks or whatever, I think it's just always about the relationships for me at the end of the day. I mean, everybody wants to win, but everybody's not going to win. Like, I don't care what sport it is, what team you on, what team you managing. That's the ultimate goal, but it isn't guaranteed. But the one thing that is guaranteed is how you're going to be remembered, when it's all said and done. I think for me, that's something that's always going to be important. When I look down the road, maybe 10, 15 years from now, and I'm doing something else, or I'm just chilling, messing with my grandkids or whatever, that I get a text from a former player, or be able to, interact on social media, and we just, reminisce about our time together and what it meant, to both of us. And I think that's something that I'm going to cherish, more than anything. And
you're saying you want wedding invites too, remember?
Oh yeah, that too, that too. I mean, but it's been a fun ride, and I'm still riding this one, and looking forward to seeing where it takes us.
For sure, and hopefully that immediate future is a trip to the ticket in person play, and hopefully something past that. All right, that wraps up this episode of Off the Court with OG. Appreciate you guys for tuning in or listening to whatever platform you may be using. Make sure to follow us across all social at Nets Gaming Crew. Make sure to follow our players, Curt and myself, on behalf of the entire NetsGC organization. We'll see you guys again next time. Thanks for watching Off the Court with OG.